Welcome to today's class of Chapter 9, that is Algebraic Expressions and Identities. Here, in this chapter, we shall learn about what algebraic expressions are and certain terms related to it. Expressions. Expressions are a combination of numbers and variables connected by the signs of various mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We can also say that algebraic expressions are formed from variables and constants. Here, let us take an example of expression 2y minus 5, which is formed from variable y and constants 2 and 5. Further, let us learn about terms, factors, and coefficients. Various parts of algebraic expressions which are separated by mathematical operational sign is known as term of expressions. In simple words, we can say that terms are added to form expressions, and thus let us take the following example of 2y minus 5 in which terms 2y and minus 5 are added to form the expression. Also, we can say that terms themselves can be formed as product of factors. Thus, for the expression 2y minus 5, we can say that the term 2y is the product of its factor 2 and y, whereas the term minus 5 is made up of its factors minus 1 and 5. Here, let us also learn about coefficients. The numerical factor of a term is called its numerical coefficient or simply coefficient. And thus, for the expression 2y minus 5, the coefficient of term 2y is 2. Now, let us learn about types of expressions. Well, there are various types of expressions and they are monomial, binomial, trinomial, or say polynomial in general. Here, let us learn about them one by one. Monomial. Expression that contains only one term is known as monomial. Say for example, 3x5 or minus 7z. Binomial. Expression that contains two terms is known as binomial. Say for example, a plus b or 4l plus 5m. Trinomial. Expression that contains three terms is known as trinomial. For example, a plus b plus c or 2x minus 5y plus 3. Here, let us also learn about the term or say expression of polynomial. Expression containing one or more than one term with a non-zero coefficient is called a polynomial. Further, let us learn about like and unlike terms. Here, let us first start with like terms. Like terms are formed from the same variables and the powers of these variables also have to be same, while the coefficients need not be the same. Here, we can say that 7x and 14x are like terms. Also, 5x square and minus 9x square are like terms. Now, let us learn about unlike terms. The terms that do not have same variables are said to be unlike terms. Here, power and coefficient may or may not be the same. Now, let us learn about addition of algebraic expressions. Well, to perform addition, we write each expressions to be added in separate row, and while doing so, we write the like terms one below the other and add them. Here, let us take an example to understand the addition more clearly. The example says, add 7xy plus 5yz minus 3zx along with 4yz plus 9zx minus 4y and minus xz plus 5x minus 2xy. The result that we obtain by adding the three expressions is 5xy plus 9yz plus 3zx plus 5x minus 4y. Now, let us learn about subtraction of algebraic expressions. Well, subtraction of a number is same as addition of its additive inverse. Thus, we can say that subtracting minus 3 is same as adding plus 3. Also, the signs in the row at the last help us in knowing which operations has to be performed. Thus, let us take an example to understand about subtractions of algebraic expressions more clearly. And the example says, subtract 5x square minus 4y square plus 6y minus 3 from 7x square minus 4xy plus 8y square plus 5x minus 3. And thus the result obtained by doing so is 2x square minus 4xy plus 12y square plus 5x minus 9y plus 3. Here, let us also learn about multiplication of algebraic expressions. Well, there are a number of situations in which we need to multiply algebraic equations, like finding the area of a rectangle, the sides of which are given as expressions, and so on. Here, multiplication most commonly has same pattern for most of its parts. And thus, there are various ways of multiplication for which we need to learn. And the ways are multiplying monomial by a monomial, multiplying monomial by a binomial, multiplying monomial by a trinomial, and multiplying polynomial by a polynomial. Now, let us learn about these ways one by one. Multiplying monomial by a monomial. Here, let us take an example to understand it more clearly. The question says, find the volume of each rectangular box with the given length, breadth, and height. Here, let us take the first example. Well, here, the length of rectangular box is 2ax, the breadth of the given rectangular box is 3by, and the height is 5cz. Now, as we know that the formula for volume is length into breadth into height, we can easily place the given values into formula and thus obtain the volume of a rectangular box as 30abc xyz. This was the simplest multiplication that we have done till date. Now, let us learn about multiplying monomial by binomial. Well, here we would use distributive law, which makes our calculation easy, and thus by taking the example of 7 into 106, we can say that 7 into 100 plus 6, which will be equals to 700 plus 42, that gives us the value as 742. Well, here we use the distributive law as it made our calculation easy. Further, we would learn about multiplying monomial by a trinomial. Here, the example says, consider 3p into 4p square plus 5p plus 7. Well, in this case as well, we will use the distributive law, and thus the product we obtained on multiplying will be 12p cube plus 15p square plus 21p. Further, we shall also learn about multiplying a polynomial by a polynomial. Well, in multiplication of polynomials with polynomials, we should always look for the like terms, if any, and combine them. This is the most important thing that we should keep in our mind. Further, let us take the help of an example which has a binomial and a trinomial in it. Thus, on multiplying a plus 7 along with a square plus 3a plus 5, we'll get the product as a cube plus 10s square plus 26a plus 35. Well, this is the method that we should be following in order to get our required answer. Further, let us also learn about identities. An identity is an equality which is true for all the values of variables in the equality. Also, note that an equation is not an identity as it is true for only certain values of variables in it. Well, there are following types of identities. Number 1. A plus b whole square, which is equals to a square plus 2ab plus b square. A minus b whole square, which is equals to a square minus 2ab plus b square. Also, a square minus b square is equals to a minus b into a plus b. And the fourth one says x plus a into x plus b is equals to x square plus a plus b into x plus ab. Well, here the first three identities are known as standard identities as they are obtained by multiplying one binomial by the another binomial. Now, in the end, I hope that you are clear with your concepts. Thank you.